Land of Stories, March 17th. Alex and Connor froze. "You did?" Connor said, and then quickly remembered that he had to keep up with his own lie. "I mean, of course you did." He threw a dirty look to the other guard. "Come with me, and I'll take you straight to your parents," the guard with the thin beard said. Before they knew it, Alex and Connor were being escorted into the palace. They were completely in over their heads. Did this guard know they were lying, and was he now escorting them directly to the dungeon? Or perhaps Connor's lie was truer than they thought, and they were about to meet a couple that were definitely not their parents. "Allow me to introduce myself," the guard said. "I'm Sir Lambton, the head of the Queen's Royal Guard. Welcome to the palace." "Thank you," Connor said. "I'm Connor Wishington, and this is my sister Alex." "Where are you from, Mr. and Mrs. Wishington?" Lambton asked. "Upstate Northern Kingdom," Connor said. Even he looked surprised by the words coming out of his mouth. "But our parents have a summer home in the south of the Sleeping Kingdom and a condo in the Fairy Kingdom." Alex's eyes opened so wide that she had to remind herself to blink. "Ah, I see," Lambton said with a curious look. "Would you like me to take your bags for you?" "No, that's quite all right," Alex said. "We'll manage." Lambton led the twins down a long hallway behind all the other guests. There were many large portraits of past rulers on the walls, and a red carpet ran under their feet. Alex and Connor were all eyes. They had never been inside a royal palace before. There were so many shiny things to look at. Lambton seemed to be enjoying their excitement. He leaned between them and softly said, "You're sneaking into the palace, aren't you?" Alex desperately looked to Connor, but he was out of lies for the night. "Please don't throw us in the dungeon," Alex pleaded. "We didn't mean any harm." Connor looked at his sister with a raised eyebrow. Did she mean no harm besides breaking into the palace and stealing a cherished item? Lambton chuckled. "I've seen a lot of youngsters try to sneak into a royal ball before, but never have I been so entertained by such an attempt," he said. "So you aren't going to throw us in a cell and hang us upside down by our toenails?" Connor asked. "We stopped doing that ages ago," Lambton said. "On the contrary, it would be my honor to show you two around." "Really?" Connor said. "That would be lovely," Alex said, clasping her hands together. "Thank you." At the end of the hall, Lambton led the twins through a pair of golden doors into the ballroom. At first, the sight was overwhelming. There were so many things to look at. It was impossible to focus on any one thing long enough to comprehend what it was. There was so much movement and color. The biggest chandelier they had ever seen, with thousands of candles hung from the ceiling above an enormous dance floor. Hundreds of formally dressed men and women filled the space. Some mingled on the sides while others danced to the music played by a small orchestra in the corner. Everything from the archways to the accents on the wall was golden. A grand staircase descended in the back of the room just behind two empty thrones. Connor knew it would only be a few seconds before Alex started crying. "It's so beautiful," Alex said with her teary eyes. "Is this where they had the ball where Cinderella and the prince met?" "Indeed," Lambton said. "I'll never forget it. I was just a simple guard back then. The prince was meeting all the young women in the kingdom in hopes of finding a bride. Cinderella was the last to arrive that night. She entered the room just as we are now, and everyone stopped to look at her." "How does she look?" Alex asked. "Magical," Lambton said with a smile, lost in his own memory. She wore a long violet dress that sparkled as she walked. I remember hearing the soft taps of her glass slippers as she walked past. As soon as the prince saw her, it was love at first sight. The whole palace could feel it. Suddenly, a man blew a trumpet at the foot of the grand staircase. "Ladies and gentlemen," the man with the trumpet announced, "it is with great honor that I welcome you to the royal ball this evening. Now please give a warm welcome to their royal majesties, King Charming and Queen Cinderella."